I'm Mike.
And I'm Medlock, and welcome to episode number 3 of Beer and Shenanigans. Today we're going to do like we always do. We're going to review 2 more beers, but we want to remind you to go to facebook.com/beer and shenanigans. Go to Twitter @shenanigansbeer. Go to Anchor.fm, and thank you again to Anchor.fm for being our host. Anchor.fm/beer and shenanigans. Beer and Shenanigans podcast @gmail.com. That's all the ways you can get in touch with us. Mike, tell us what we have on tap for today.
And then we've got Bell's Brewery, one of my favorites.
Mike has really turned me on to Bell's over the past 2 years, and I really like it too. So
once I got of age, of course, I used to frequent Bell's a lot. Me and my old roommates actually took a sidetrack during college and actually used a bunch of ingredients from Bell's to homebrew our own stuff, which I will say was not that good, but we did it anyway. But today we got Bell's Brewery, Bright White. It's a Belgian wheat beer. And the other we have is Anchor Brewing Company. It's called Anchor Steam Beer.
So we got a couple of good ones there. We got one out of Michigan, one out of California. So we're branching out aside of the local area that we're in. And let's see what we have for today. And again, the Mike was talking about home brewing. Our shenanigans are coming. We're actually looking at trying to schedule brewing our own beer with a Mr. Beer Kit. I think we're going to try.
I just hope it turns out better than my last go around at that.
Well, that's because you got Superman with. No, I'm kidding.
There we go.
So, but yeah, just wait for it because
You mean shenanigans?
it's coming. So let's go ahead and see what we have first on tap today.
So this is Medlock's choosing, Bell's Brewery Bright White. It's got an ABV of 5% and an IBU of 21. Bell's Brewery is located in Comstock, Michigan, which is technically Kalamazoo, but whatever, I digress.
You Michiganders don't know how to name names up there is what it is.
You can find them at Bell's Beer, BELLS beer.com. And this style is a Belgian wheat beer. It's basically their winter style, and it's meant to be drank out of a tulip-style glass.
And we were actually lucky to find this one because it looks like it's kind of out of stock right now for like the 6-packs and the 12-packs. We did find some, but it looks like it's out of stock in other places. So
yeah, it's a seasonal, so that's not surprising.
Seems like it's more their... Well, they have a Christmas sale too, right?
They do have a Christmas.
So this is probably like after a Christmas deal going on. Mike, tell us what what bellsbeer.com says about Bright White.
All right. On their website, it says it's an alternative to dark and heavy winter warmers and stouts. Bright White, formerly known as Winter White. I guess that's not a huge difference, but to some it may matter.
Well, up there you get a lot of snow, so that's where the Bright White come in, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. It's supposed to be a stylish and refreshing wheat ale. It's fermented with a Belgian ale yeast. A blend of barley and wheat malts yields a mixture of clove and fruity aromas, all without the use of spices.
Yes, science!
Now, that's very interesting because Belgian wheat beer is a style that's supposed to have spices in it. So
this ought to be interesting.
Intrigued by that.
Now, we did notice something. We want to kind of interject something here. We were looking at the bottle and the label for Bell's Brewery Bright White Ale, and noticed that they had the Brewers Association Independent Craft Brewers seal on it. So we did a little research and looked it up, and there is a formula, an algorithm of how they determine if it's a independent craft brewer or not. And Bell's is, and we want to go over the past couple episodes, and we're going to add this into the show. We told you we were going to polish up and add more things more and more as we go along. This is one thing that we are going to add. And so 21st Amendment was a is a independent craft brewer, as well as Anderson Valley from our first episode. Of course, Thomas Creek is, and Left Hand Brewing. And so this one, we'll go ahead and get to the now present part. Bell's is a craft brewer's independent craft beer, certified independent craft. You can go to brewersassociation.org. They are not a sponsor on the show, of course, but we just wanted to throw that out there so you could go in. If you have any questions about if your favorite beer is a craft beer or not, you can go in there and actually have a search box at the bottom, and you can actually test it and see if your favorite beer is a
They've got some
craft.
pretty good stipulations as to whether or not you're an independent craft brewer. So
yes, and
it's
it
worth
could be
checking out.
It could be a craft style beer, but if you're not a craft brewer, it doesn't really matter to us, because if it's a craft style and we can't find it just at the local gas station, or as Mike said one time, it's not a gas station, it's a convenience store. That's a long story, inside joke kind of thing.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah, but you can't just go to any grocery store and get, to us, that is a craft / microbrew that we want to promote on the show. So, Mike, a little bit of information here that Bell's gave that most everybody else has it. Sells what they say on their website also.
I already said that.
No, the calories and the carbs.
Why? Who cares about calories and carbs?
Well, some people do.
All right.
You got you dieters out there.
All right. So apparently there's 153 calories in a 12-ounce bottle of Bell's Bright White, and it has 13 carbs.
So one thing I did notice, though, when I was doing my research on...
If you're drinking craft brews, don't care about calories and carbs.
Well, yeah. You are getting kind of a beer belly on you, Mike. I am too, so... All right, so I did notice one thing. We give out every episode, in each beer we give out the IBU scale. But I noticed one thing on the Bell's website, that they don't, come out and pronounce that their beer has this many IBUs. And as I'm pulling up the website now, let's see if I can find it here. Kind of interject something, stall for me, Mike.
Now, I was curious when I saw it was a Belgian wheat beer, and specifically 2 wheat beers, it's supposed to have spices in there. So I'm kind of at a loss as to how they can classify this as a wheat beer when they can make it taste like one without the spices that it's supposed to have in it. I guess we'll taste it and see if it actually does taste like a wheat beer. I'm hoping it does.
Okay, so I see here that Bright White Ale, when we're talking about winter beer, we called it just in the nick of time because it's November, December, and January every year. So we called it just at the right time. And let's see. Okay, so on their website, on this beer, it says, why didn't we not list IBUs? It says there is a difference between absolute bitterness and perceived bitterness. IBUs are useful for home brewers for the purpose of clone recipes, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. Expedition Style is a good example, and that's one of Bell's brews. It has more IBUs than the more traditional hoppy beers like Two Hearted Ale and Hop Slam. So, and they do come down there below it and do say that it is a 21 IBU, but it's more of a perceived bitterness than it is an actual absolute bitterness like they say there. So that's where that kind of comes from. And you don't see many websites that are saying, or actual brewery websites that are saying this is the IBUs. We get that information from Untapped. So, all right. So we've given you what it tastes like. Let's tell you kind of what it looks like. It is very unfiltered.
We haven't tasted it yet.
We haven't tasted it. We have not. Mike being from Michigan, and he's a Bell's fan, and now I'm a Bell's fan. We have not tasted it, so this is the first time we're tasting it. But just from looking at it, the clarity is very, very low, very unfiltered. Looks really good. Kind of reminds me of
That's an interesting note on Bell's also. Most of their brews are unfiltered.
So I can smell the clove in it, and I can smell the fruitiness in it. All right. Bottoms up. Cheers. Very interesting. Has a good flavor to it.
It tastes like a Hefeweizen to me, and I'm curious as to whether or not a clove is actually a spice, because this does have clove in it.
There's an app for that. I'll look that up. You stall.
Oh, I don't know what kind of flavors are going on in here, but it's definitely clove.
This is funny. All right, so I looked it up, and according to Wikipedia, so you know how Wikipedia is, it says cloves are aromatic flower buds of a tree in the family. Y'all ain't even gonna try that. Y'all look it up yourselves. I'll butcher it.
TJ can't read.
I can read.
Oh.
I just like pictures better sometimes, but they are native to the Maluku Islands in Indonesia and are commonly used as a spice. So
Okay, so they are a spice. So
somebody needs to call Bales and tell them, hey,
yeah,
reword that a little bit.
Yeah,
I guess
they should. Well, no, all that we can really say now is that it is a true Belgian wheat beer because it does have spice in it.
Yeah, so we'll go with that. But yeah,
so their website's kind of misleading, but either way.
The way it reads is misleading. I mean,
Yeah.
But it is to me, it is very good drinking beer. It's not a sipping beer to me.
I don't much care for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mike's not a
It's
Hefeweizen.
It's got an aftertaste that I don't really know how to explain. It's almost. I don't know.
Y'all just see the look on his face. If we can ever get our YouTube channel up and going, you'll see some of these videos and go, "What is he doing?"
I'm trying to appreciate it, but it's not working.
It's not working.
No. I do not like this one.
Wow. Mike says he don't like one.
And Bell's is one of my favorite breweries, and
I like it. It's one that I could I feel like I could sit around on the front porch and take a big gulp of and enjoy it. Not too many in a row, but yeah, I kind of like it. All right. So
yeah, I can't even find the words to explain that one in my perception.
And y'all, he's made up some words before, and you have to go, is that a word? And he can't even make one up. So that's
it's almost
this is
making my
interesting.
stomach churn. Yeah, I can't drink
Really?
any more of that one.
I'll finish it because that's
You're welcome. But you enjoyed it, so to each his own.
It's not one of my favorites, but I like it. I'm not gonna say it's top 5, top 10, but it's still good. I like flavors like that. All right, Mike, tell us what Untapped and Beer Advocate.
No disrespect to anybody that might enjoy that one very much. It's all personal preference.
Because our ratings, it looks like it's going to be a little bit lower than what Untapped and Beer Advocate gives. But go ahead and give us what everybody rates it at.
All right, so Untapped gives that one 3.6 out of 5, and Beer Advocate says 3.67 out of 5. So
someone out there likes it.
Yeah, obviously. So,
all right, Mike, how many pints you going to give it?
I understand why some people would. It's got very complex flavors in there, which I guess I just can't sort through.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's got too much going on. So I'll give it a 1 because I do appreciate what they're trying to do there.
Okay, so we got 1 pint from Mike. I'm just going to give it a 2.25. Which is a little bit lower than what I would normally give a beer like that because it's a seasonal, so you don't see those many times of the year. But 2.25 is where I'm going to go with that. And, yeah, I mean.
Why do you give it 2.25?
I mean, it's good, but, yeah, it's got that aftertaste. I'm not a big aftertaste kind of guy. And that's a shame from Bales because I've had, hanging around Mike. I've known Mike for almost 2 years, about 2 or 3 days short of 2 or 3 years, 2 years now, and he's really turned me on to Bell's, and I haven't had a bad one yet. And like I said, I'm not an IPA fan, but I love the Two Hearted Ale. That was really the first beer I ever tried from Bell's, and this one just,
It's not on Bell's caliber.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's why it's a seasonal.
Yeah.
So Bell's, if you hear this, we're sorry.
It is what it is.
It
All
is
right.
what it is.
Let's
But
move on to the
we'll
next
try
one.
to. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Sorry, Bales. We love you though. We love all our brewers. All right, so the next one is it's from Anchor Brewing Company. This is Mike's choice this week. It is their steam beer. It is alcohol by volume of 4.9%, IBU of 35. So we're easy to mid drinking beer. They're located in San Francisco, California. Their website is anchorbrewing.com. This actual style is a California common steam beer. And it's a year-round offering. And you can get it from the pint glass. You can get it served in a pint glass. From their website, and I'm going to read this whole thing because it's really complex of how they really describe it and kind of give you an idea of what steam beer really is. Anchor steam beer owes its deep amber color, thick, creamy head, and rich, distinctive flavor to its historic brewing process like none other. So a California common or steam beer is a hybrid style unique to the U.S. So it's a U.S. born. It is usually brewed with a special strain of lager yeast that works better at warmer ale-like temperatures. And this method dates back to the 1800s of California when refrigeration was a great luxury. So this is really...
Did what they can with what they had.
Yeah, pretty much. And I got this information from Beer Advocate and from craftbeer.com. And it says, it actually mentions San Francisco's Anchor Brewing Company trademarked the term steam beer. As such, as all examples of this style must be legally referred to as California Common. So they're the only ones that can actually say that they're California or steam beer, where everybody else has to be California Common.
Huh. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they noticed they had something special there, apparently.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out if that's true.
All right, so the malts that they use is a blend of two-row pale and caramel. Mike says caramel. I'm caramel. Michigan, South Carolina kind of thing. The hops they use is a Northern Brewer.
You say words funny.
Well, at least I do say words.
That's true.
I don't say pictures. All right. All right, so we got our beer flight out here, and we're looking at it. And
this is a very clear coppery color.
yes, I was going to say copper.
But
It
it's
really,
clear.
It's like a darker copper.
I can see you through the glass.
You can see me through the glass.
Well, your silhouette, anyway.
Y'all should see how he's looking at me right now. That's weird.
It's got very little head on it.
Yeah.
It's got some.
Yeah. Well, it's been sitting here a little bit while we've been recording, so. But smell. It's got a good smell to it. And go ahead and cheers it up. Very distinct flavor.
Yeah, it's actually got a good balance of malt and hop flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost perfectly balanced in my opinion, but
Yeah, you can really tell that it's like the IBU of 35. It really gives you that good feeling. Does it have it has a good finish, not a aftertaste at all. I don't really tell it. Of course, I'm still getting some of the bales too, so
tastes really clean somehow. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's I
Must
don't
have
know
clean
if that
water
has
in San
anything to
Francisco.
do with the steam part of it or what. But it does taste really clean.
Mm-hmm. I
think it's got a perfect match of malt flavor and hop flavor.
Yes, it does. It's not over hoppy. It's not over malted. Well, it seems like the malts were roasted just right. I can tell why it's been around since 1896.
Yeah, this is a good one.
So,
This is this is this is something I could probably drink on a daily basis, just as my keep in the refrigerator type beer.
Yeah, I agree with you. So good thing it's year round, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we went from, not so much to, all the time kind of thing. And two different beers here. So we're giving you our honest opinion, people. We're not going to just say, hey, it's a good beer just because it's on the show. Unfortunately, sometimes we're going to have to say, I guess not.
That's probably why breweries make different kinds of beer.
Exactly. Different tastes for different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? All right, so Untapped's going to give it a 3.49 out of 5, where Beer Advocate gives it a 3.87 out of 5. Mike, how many pints you going to give it today?
I'm going to give it a 5.
You going to give it a 5? Okay. You don't want to go for the 6-pack?
No, it's not perfect, but it's close.
Okay, so Mike's going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Not quite. It's a little bit more bitter than I want to go with because, I'm more of the ale kind of guy. But I do like the flavor. I do like the finish. Very good.
Yeah.
It could pair really, really well with
It
various different types of foods.
Perfect if it was a tad bit less heavy.
We are getting deep here, y'all.
Like, if it wasn't so filling.
Yeah,
it is.
It does feel like it's going to be a filling beer.
Yeah, it's gonna.
It's one of those you don't want to drink too much of it before your salad gets to your table, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, if it wasn't quite as filling, I would have went 6-pack with it.
Okay,
But
yeah. So 4.5 and 5. And we'll get these averages out to you on Facebook here shortly. Facebook.com/beer and shenanigans. Mike, so wrapping up episode number 3, you kind of want to go give us any synopsis of what we've been over today and any ideas of what you want to go with, what people should look forward next week?
We went through 2 very different styles of beer today and learned a few things. I guess what you can look for is, like we said before, we're always evolving. We're open to some recommendations. So
There's a special effect for what happened today.
I got a bad feeling about this.
ruh-roh. What's that mean?
When you was talking about the bales.
Oh yeah.
So and then I'm just
Kind of hurts my heart. I had to rate it that low, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
That's kind of like the first time you have to go.
Hey, Dad! I like beer!
But then you find that one that goes, really? Kind of thing. So, all right. So, still be looking out for our YouTube videos. We'll be working on that. Hopefully we'll get something up and going here soon. And hope you enjoyed it. But remember, if you don't want to hear this sound, here at Beer and Shenanigans, we remind you to please do not drink and drive. Please drink responsibly and always have a designated driver. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if we deserved it.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Medlock, and this has been Beer and Shenanigans.